Hi, gang. Welcome to Behind the Rhinestones. I am your host, Dinah Dare, and here I talk to some of the stars of the UK and sometimes further afield burlesque and cabaret scene. Merry Christmas. Don't worry, I'm not wearing this throughout the whole interview. I just thought it would be a cute little start. Please do like and subscribe. Also, leave comments. I love to chat, as I am bringing new content to you all the time. So today we have an absolute powerhouse of a performer. In 2025, they did their debut at BHOF, and I'm so lucky to be able to chat to them today. Please welcome Aurora Nova. Thank you so much for joining me today, Aurora.
Hello.
Oh, look at you coming from your sparkly showgirl cave with all your wonderful things behind you. I love it.
Yeah, all my gorgeous things that's taken me ages to make, or lots of money to buy, so I got to show it off.
At all times.
Yeah.
At all times. I've not seen you since Behoff, which is wild to think
I
that was like
know.
6 months ago.
That is wild. I can't believe it's been 6 months. It just honestly feels like yesterday or like last week I was in
Yeah,
Vegas. It's like wild.
it's insane. But you seem to have been very busy since then, which is great.
Yes, yes. I've had a lot going on, like shows, obviously, teaching, because I teach every week in Leeds, but also workshops, touring. I bought a house this year as well, so I've also been kind of like renovating, painting, buying furniture, all of that, all that life stuff as well. So I think, yeah, this year's been like quite a busy year, and like a lot of big things, like big life things and big work things, big career stuff. So. Yeah, it's been amazing, but I'm also ready for it to like calm down a little bit.
You say that, are you not planning a tour?
Yeah, so in saying that, I am also planning a tour to Australia.
Yeah,
I'm aiming to go in March, so I'm hoping to be in Australia for 4 weeks in March.
amazing.
Currently talking to some producers and shows to like organize it all. It's like logistics with Australia because Australia's so massive. It's like trying to figure out like where is the best place to be each week, basically, where it makes sense to be. But yeah, it's coming along really well, and I'm really excited to go there. So yay!
So just like casually, oh, I got onto Beehoff, bought a house, planning a tour, like just casual things.
Yeah, I know. I live life to the full. I try and like, do as much as I can. I always want to feel like I'm really living my dreams and that I mean that does take a lot of effort and you have to work really hard, but I just want to always take life by the reins and do as much as possible. um that's kind of I've always been that kind of person. I'm very ambitious, ever since I was like a little kid. And yeah, I think burlesque is great in that way because you can travel a lot, quite easily in a way. Like I can go to Europe from UK anyway, so that's really cool. So I'm always trying to travel and adventure as much as possible. Yeah.
Love that. You like I love you've just been doing so much. It's so good to see. And yeah, you can tell that you work hard as well. Like I think you can see that. Definitely.
Is it because I look tired?
No, you never look tired. That's the thing. I'm like, she looks so glamorous all the time.
Oh, thank you. I
Um,
don't. It's makeup.
this is just really decent lighting because there's no makeup on this face today. And also the new glasses help hide the eyes.
Accessories are always good. That's why I threw on some earrings. I was like, earrings, some necklace. I need
Glamorous.
I need some glass accessories. I don't need glasses, but maybe I should just to hide.
Hides the eyes. It does a
Yeah.
lot of work. So I distinctly remember following you on Instagram after seeing clips of your Phoenix act. That's kind of when you became on my radar. But I don't really know how you got into burlesque. So what is like your origin story?
I love that origin story. Um, so I guess I'll go back like a little bit further than burlesque because that might give some context. So I am a professional dancer by trade, and I grew up dancing. I grew up training in a variety of styles. So ballet and like tap, contemporary and jazz are probably like the main styles. But within that, I also did like other stuff, musical theater. So I've always performed throughout my life. Like I performed from a very young age. And then I went to New Zealand School of Dance, which is like a the National Ballet Contemporary School of New Zealand. So it's quite a big deal in like Australia and New Zealand. Like here in UK, not many people know about it, but in Australia it's quite a big deal. So it's like a conservatoire. There's only like 10 or 15 get selected each year, which is like it's a really small amount. So it was a huge deal to go there. So that's where I trained, and I specialized as a contemporary dancer, but I also did ballet as well. And then while I was there, that's when I started to like get introduced to the world of cabaret and burlesque, and I saw a few shows, and I just like fell in love with how theatrical it is. And I think because contemporary dance can be very like very artsy in a way, and kind of insulated, and everything's very um yeah, I'm just trying to think, was like minimalist, I guess. Sometimes, not all the time. And then cabaret was like the opposite of that. It was like maximalist. And I guess like at that time in my life, it was very like, wow, this is so different to what I'm currently doing, like 6 days a week. This is like the opposite. But also like training growing up, I did do a lot of like not cabaret specifically, but a lot of styles like that, like cabaret styles, like jazz, tap, musical theater. So it kind of reminded me as well, like my love for other styles of dance, not just like contemporary and ballet. And yeah, from that, I just kind of had this idea in my head. I was like, that'd be really cool to do. Not thinking like I would actually do it. I would just be like, oh, that'd be cool. Um, and yeah, and I was just heavily inspired by it. And I had in my back of my head, like, that'd be cool to try and maybe I should. But being contemporary dancer, it's kind of like the opposite. And it's sometimes it can be hard when you're in a certain art form to try another art form because it feels like you shouldn't do it. It's like, you're a contemporary dancer, you're not a burlesque performer or other way around or whatever. So it kind of like took me a while to like give myself permission to try it, and because I think in a lot of dance styles there is like hierarchy in how people view different dance styles. Like ballet is always like the top of the hierarchy. Like ballet is the ultimate, the most technical, and they're like revered as, you know, professional. And I feel like contemporary dance is probably a bit lower than that. People are like, contemporary dance. And I think burlesque in a lot of dancers' eyes is like kind of lower than the other dance styles. Like they don't see it as like a professional, like a career or like a art form. Um, and so it took me a while to be like, yes, I do want to try this. But I was the only one who wanted to try burlesque out of my year. So it took me just confidence, I think, to get there to try it. And then eventually I did. And that's because really I just moved to England in 2016. So I graduated in 2015 from school. So I moved to England in 2016. And I moved here for contemporary dance to work with companies over here and stuff. But unfortunately, at the end of that year, I got a severe ankle injury. I tore a ligament or ligaments in my ankle. It was pretty bad. It was pretty horrific. Like my ankle would just like flop out the bones because there's no ligament to hold it there. It was pretty bad. So it was real bad. And it was almost a career-ending injury. I thought it was a career-ending injury, which is the worst feeling as a professional dancer to be like,
Usually
this
like
is it.
like a year out of
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, like you made it. Yeah, now you're on the woo world, working with companies and boom, injured. So that was really tough. And I think at that time in my life, I needed something. I needed like an outlet and to move again, but I couldn't dance like I have been. And I couldn't work as a dancer because my ankle was not functional. And that's when I was like, it's probably a good time to try burlesque. I've got some time. I wasn't working. Burlesque, it's can be low impact. Like often burlesque classes are fairly low impact, so you don't have to like do what I was doing, which was like running around, jumping, doing tricks, and it wasn't that. So yeah, I did some classes with Lady Wildflower in Leeds, and that's when I was like, oh, this is this is really cool, and I love it. And I was like, maybe I'll perform, and I debuted the year after, and I was like, maybe I'll just do it once, like I'll just do it, to say I've done it, because like that's how it always starts. I feel like for everyone, they're like, I'll just do it once.
Yeah. Especially you've
Um,
already said that you're the
yeah,
type of person that like doesn't do things by half, but then you're like, oh yeah, just try it.
yeah, I was like, what have I got to lose? You know what I mean? Like, why not? And then yeah, because that was the next year, so I recovered. Like, so yay, ankle's better, so I could still dance. Yay.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, so I debuted, and then at that show, 20K came up to me. She was watching, and she was like, "Do you want to perform on my show? It's tomorrow." And I was like, okay. And so Tony K was like the first person to book me for a show, which was the next night after I debuted. I debuted at Lady Wildflower's show with newbies, which is a
Mhm.
wonderful show. So yeah, that's like how it started. And then it just kind of snowballed from there. And then I kind of felt like it was going on its own journey, and I was just being taken for a ride. I did not at all like anticipate creating a career out of burlesque. Because for me, I was like, I'm a contemporary dancer. Like I'm doing, working with companies, I'm doing projects. Like that's my thing. And I didn't think burlesque would kind of take over and it become like my main art form, basically, or my main career. And I still do contemporary dance. And like you see, I still do contemporary dance in my like burlesque acts. So it's still very much a part of me. But yeah, in terms of like career, I would say burlesque is now like my main career. And it's taking me all around the world, and I love it. So yeah, that's my origin story. It's a bit of a long one.
But I love it so much. And like obviously you contemporary is your thing. When you first created your first act, was combining contemporary always something that you thought you would do, or were you anxious about combining contemporary with burlesque? Like, how did that come about?
I think for me, it always felt natural to combine contemporary and burlesque because I feel like for me, that's like my natural state is doing contemporary dance. But that's probably because I trained in it like for 3 years full time, and that's what I know really, really well. And I find a lot of comfort in it. And I think as a contemporary dancer, we're kind of like taught and to condition to like always go outside the box, always think about something differently, challenge art forms, challenge the way you think. And I feel like I've definitely taken that into burlesque, and I took it in straight away. I was like, cool, burlesque, but how can I make this my style? And Phoenix was my debut act. So I straight away made like a contemporary dance fusion piece. And it's still my signature act. I'm still performing it and still upgrading the costume and developing it still. So I think it's always come fairly natural to me to combine, and that's definitely my like comfort is doing contemporary dance. But it was hard at first because it's different, it's not what people think of burlesque. And so there was like parts of me that were like, how's it going to be received? And I was really, really nervous, because I just wasn't sure how the rest of the world was going to view it. And I at the start of my career, there wasn't many people doing like contemporary dancing in burlesque, and kind of fusing it. And it's become definitely more popular now. And I think in trends like commercial dance and heels, like contemporary dance is becoming more fused with other styles. But back then in burlesque, it wasn't seen as much. Um, so it was challenging at first, and especially I think getting booked a lot, but a few people saw what I did and didn't think it was burlesque. And I still get those comments today, with my contemporary pieces. People go like, "That's not burlesque," and that's okay. You find your people, you find the people who love what you do, and it's okay if someone doesn't love what you do, and as long as you find meaning in it and you are passionate about it. And that's to me, that's why I do burlesque. It's the freedom of expression, And I always say, like, everyone has a voice and to say something, and it's great that we're all so unique and we have different lived experiences. And I love bringing that to burlesque. So yeah, that's my little. So I don't know what's going with that, but I forgot the question to be honest. Just going on a tangent.
Temporary, no, I love it. Oh, you made me. I was going to ask something when you were talking about that. Actually, that
Sorry,
was
I
what.
went on a tangent. You should have stopped me.
No, it was, but it was a good tangent. So I was like, yes. Um, what I was going to ask was obviously you teach. Do you
Mhm.
think you're probably going to be very like humble about this, but do you think that teaching contemporary burlesque has kind of led to it being more prevalent because you've shown it can be done and you're also teaching how it can be done as well?
I I definitely influence my students.
Mhm.
I think it's not meaning to. Like I'm always the firm believer, like I don't want to create clones. I want everyone to be unique and bring something to the stage that's unique and not be me. But I think it can't be helped because people are watching me and they're learning from me that they're gonna naturally, like subconsciously, like be attracted to my style. So yeah, I have noticed like at my student showcases when my solo students debut acts that a lot of them are leaned towards like the conceptual side or contemporary or abstract or just like bringing something different to the stage. And I love that. And it's actually really rare for one of my students to debut a classic act. Usually at student showcases, I feel like, students do a lot of classic because classic is a big part of burlesque. But it's really interesting at my showcases, it might be only like one or two will do a classic piece, and most will do something different. And I love that personally. It's great.
Because I think that mindset of what can you do that's different, that's yours, is a really important mindset to have.
Mm,
Like nothing's original. I've talked about this before with people. Nothing is
hmm.
original, but what can you do that makes it yours? And
Yeah,
having that mindset from the start is a really key thing. And if you're helping them have that, that's like so important.
thank you. I feel a lot of responsibility being a teacher, to educate and to encourage and to inspire people to like be themselves and be authentic and speak up about things that are important to them. And then yeah, there's a lot of responsibility being a teacher, even if it's like at a local scale. You don't know who they're going to influence or where they're going to take their burlesque career if they, keep going on. And so I want to make sure whatever I'm teaching, is a positive impact. And it's a little bit of like a legacy, I guess, in a way. Like, want to make sure the following generations are, yeah, always trying to bring something different to the stage. Yeah.
And I think whatever your background is or whoever your teachers are, like I still do every now and then I'll do something and my partner's obviously seen me from the start and he'll be like, that was a very you can there's still certain movement patterns that are very much from my original teacher because there's
Mm.
just things that are in my brain and I can't
Yeah.
every now and then it like sneaks out
Yeah.
and
I think
you
that's
can't help that.
it's so normal. Like as a dancer, like I've had many teachers over my lifetime, and I still can think like, oh, that's something that teacher would do. That's something that would teacher do, and that's normal, and that's how we learn and grow. And yeah, as you said, nothing's original. We're just inspired by all these different things. And yeah, it's really funny when you're like, oh, that's something, and I catch myself saying things. I'm like, that's something my dad used to say. I always said I would never become her. I was like, I'll never be like my dad's teacher. And then sometimes I'm like a little bit like her.
And then you're in class going, oh no.
Yeah. So it's funny.
You, I think I shared a thing the other day because you were posting floor work, and I was just like, you are the queen of floor work. That
Oh,
seems to very much
thank
be
you.
your thing. You love your
I
tricks.
love my jokes.
Is
Yeah.
that again, is that very much like the contemporary background that's coming through there, or is that just something that you've loved and explored separate to that?
It's probably mostly the contemporary background, but as a kid and a teenager, I did teach myself tricks and like gymnastics. We didn't have a gymnastics school where I'm from. I'm from a really, really small town in Australia, like population less than 5,000, like tiny. So
Mm,
I taught myself, and my mom also helped me. She's not a dancer or a gymnast, like learn some tricks. I've always kind of liked tricking. It's just fun and it's cool to like be like, oh, look at me. But I think contemporary dance, like doing my contemporary dance training, um, like definitely made me love floor work. Before then, I didn't do as much floor work, but contemporary dance, especially New Zealand, Australian style contemporary dance, it's very floor based and very grounded. And we also had like acrobatics, and like breakdancing classes. So yeah, so definitely from my training, that's where my floor work love has come from. I love the floor. It's like the best place ever.
Must be frustrating though, because there's definitely a lot of venues in the UK that floor work is not made for.
No, no. Yeah, so this is like the bane of my existence. So I think with burlesque, and I always tell this to my students as well too, because they do a lot of floor work because I do a lot of floor work, and I have to
Yeah.
always tell them like it's unfortunately a lot of venues the stage might be too low and the audience is seated, or the stage is too dirty, like disgusting, and you do not want to go on that stage. There can be a variety of reasons why floor work is not the best choice. And for myself, I got to make sure I limit, how much floor work I do and how I do the floor work. And as much as I love floor work, if you watch my pieces, I'm kind of in the floor a little bit and then I go straight back out, or I'll like pop up and then I'll kind of go down. And so I'm never on the floor for like an extended period of time because most venues, unfortunately, yeah, in the UK and around the world, really, floor work isn't possible. In the theaters, yes, when they've got beautiful stage and like rake seating, love that. That's great. But unfortunately, most venues, you can't do much floor work, which is sad. It's, it's okay.
Like, I always have, if I have floor work and act, I'll always have like an alternate as in
Yes.
my back pocket. So if I'm like, right, that I cannot do it in here, right, what can I do instead? Kind of thing.
Yes, I'm the same. Always have variations of acts, like no floor work versions, or like just a mid-level floor work, not like a full down. Yeah, variations of acts are really important. Even just like entering the stage, some venues it's walk through the audience, or you've got no like blackout or a curtain. Things like that. I feel like with burlesque, you have to be very versatile and willing to adapt, change, pivot, which is like the word people use now. Um,
It's
Pivot.
such a
I
business
know
word.
it's
Like
such a
my
corporate buzzword.
yeah. I was gonna
So
say my corporate day life is like, huh?
I've just been hearing it a lot, so I've been using it a lot. Pivot, because I'm not a corporate person at all. So I like to use
It's
it.
a good word though. It is.
It's a
It's
good
about being
word.
able to pivot. It's about being able to adapt. We've all had costume mishaps. We've all
Oh,
had
don't even get me started.
so like we have to be able to just
Yes,
adapt.
go with the
Yeah.
flow. Yeah, change it up. And I think too, like if you have to take out floor work, it's not the end of the world. Your act is still, your act. The
Yep.
concept is still there. It's just because you can't do the splits, like because you can't do it for whatever reason, the floor's dirty or you can't see it, it's not gonna like change your act all of a sudden and be less impressive. And I think, that's what I teach my students anyways. Like, it's okay if you can't do floor work. It's gonna be fine. You can still do other things. So,
Plenty of other things you can do.
yeah.
So moving on to the big thing that happened this year, BHOF.
Yes.
That was amazing. And it was getting to see you on that stage was stunning. What was it like when you found out you got in?
I didn't believe it to be honest, because I've like I've applied the past few years,
hmm
um, and I was expecting like rejection. I saw like the email, like what, like results are in. And I was like, okay, cool. What's it gonna say? No. And then I clicked it, and it was like, you've been accepted. I was like, what? And I literally had to like film it on my phone. I got my phone out and like recorded it and was like, recorded the screen. I don't know why. And then watched it back just to be like, is my mind playing tricks on me? Do you know what I mean? Like,
Feel
yeah, I literally like did not believe what was being said. on the screen. It was the most incredible feeling. Um, I wish I could go back to that day. I think that day was one of the best days of my life, honestly. I just like ran around the house and I was like, I got it. And I called my friend Velma Vogue, my bestie, who came to BHOF with me. And I was like, I got in, and she was like, great, but how are we gonna afford it? So yeah, so that was the next question. Was like, now I gotta buy flights to Vegas, you know. But it was great. Yeah.
What was like, I remember you had like tech at like 8 a.m. or something
Oh my
disgusting
God,
like that.
Jordan.
So what was that? And then obviously the show doesn't finish till like 1 in the morning. What is that whole day like? Like what was there loads of big feelings? Was it scary? Was it
Mm.
like what was that like?
Yeah, a lot of big feelings. I think the whole trip I was had a like low level anxiety, like not low level, like mid-ish, mid to high.
It keeps up.
Like probably the whole time leading up to it because it's such a massive event and like such a big event for my career. This might be the only time I perform Burlesque Hall of Fame, and it's been one of my dreams and my goals ever since I started. Like, because when I started, I was watching all the videos of Burlesque Hall of Fame. That's what really inspired me. Um, I was like, I want to be on that stage one day, and then suddenly it was here, and I was like, oh my God. And so yeah, yeah, I felt a lot of anxiety, obviously a lot of excitement, but also a lot of pressure, because I was, representing UK and Australia, and I wanted to make sure I was, people were proud of me, I guess, like I wanted to represent everyone well, and also make myself proud and bring something to the stage that I'm really proud of. So it was a lot of mixed feelings, a lot of nerves. I get very nervous at competitions, and that's because as a kid, I did a lot of competitions and I like developed a lot of like anxiety from competitions, from being in that circuit, and that's like really intense. Like think Dance Mums. That's what I grew up doing, like many competitions a year. I didn't have holidays. I took time out of school to go and compete. Like it was huge. So I guess I also like felt a little bit like that feeling, and you just want to make people proud and you want to do well. So big feelings throughout the day. Yes, I had to wake up real early, and which is a bit of a shame because it's a Legends night, the Friday night, but I couldn't stay up because I was like, I have to get up at 7 a.m. So it was really sad. I kind of missed the Legends night in a way, like the after party. Obviously, I watched the show, but I missed all the fun that happened that night, which I'm so jealous about. So yeah, I woke up really early. Yeah, I got to tech at 8, which is way too early to tech. I'm not gonna lie. It was a lot. It was a lot, but it was nice because everyone else was there too in the category. Not everyone, but like a lot of people were there. So we also, got to chat. And I think being on that stage, for tech really kind of helped ease my nerves a bit because once you've been on the stage, you're like, okay, now I know the space. It was my first time being on that stage. And it's a massive stage. Like I
It's a
performed, it's I've performed on some big stages in my career, but that stage is like no other. It's really, really big, really wide.
mhm.
Not so much, I mean, it is deep, but it's like really, really wide. So I felt like I was like running to get to the side of the stage and then like running back. Um, so yeah, that was intense, and we only had 5 minutes, I think, for tech. So it was literally like you get in, you don't even have time to mark on the stage. It's like you get in, they turn your music on, and you run your act and the lights. And like I didn't get any time to ask about my lights or for them to ask me. It was like there's hardly any communication really. It was just go, tech, get off. Um, so that was a bit stressful, not really having time to process what's going on. And yeah, and then for the rest of the day, I just kind of got ready, warmed up, did my hair, did my makeup, like for the whole day. just holed up in the room basically. And I was sharing a room with Velma, and she was really lovely. She helped me, she brought me food, she checked in on me, and she was a great support system. So it was really, really lovely having her there. And yeah, and that was the day. And then the show came, and suddenly I was on stage. So, so it just kind of passed by in a blur. It was wild. Yeah.
You're amazing though. And I know that all the UK baddies that were in the crowd were like,
Yeah, I love their support. Like honestly, like the UK group, the UK crew, I have so much love for them, and it was such a special moment, I think, for them to be there and to share it with them. And yeah, I love them to pieces, and I appreciate them so much for being there. And it's just so nice. It's so nice.
not also like rhinestone in your costume the day before. I vaguely remember
This
this.
is, I mean, to be fair, this is what most blessed performers do, right? I feel like I saw
Where you're
you
like,
doing
no,
that
we
the other
all do
day.
this. This is what we all do.
So it's just another day being a blessed performer, honestly. Yes. It's because I moved house, like literally a couple of weeks before.
Yeah.
So, moving house, you gotta pack all your stuff up, and then you gotta get to the next house, and then you gotta try and pack it all. And I didn't know where any of my stuff was. It was very, very stressful. I don't recommend it to anyone. Um, and I just struggle with time trying to get my costume. I'm still embellishing my costume. We're gonna get there eventually, but yeah, I did rhinestone it in Vegas, but everyone did. I feel like I saw everyone kind of.
It's amazing. So it's
Yeah,
fine.
part of the story of burlesque.
No, it was an amazing weekend. I loved it, and being able to see you perform is amazing. And there was so many performers over that weekend that just like blew my brain.
Mm,
It was so good.
yeah, it was
Um,
very overwhelming, eh?
oh,
Like
so overwhelming,
just yeah,
constant.
constant.
But like outside of BHOF, we talked about there. You said that you obviously watched a lot of the BHOF videos beforehand, and you've obviously been
Hmm.
inspired by kind of various different performers.
Hmm.
Who are some of the performers that are kind of like the most inspiring for you?
There's so many. I feel like I'm constantly being inspired by a whole load of people and for various reasons. I think the people that kind of come to my brain first, it's probably the people at the start of my career or like kind of inspired me to start. Imogen Kelly is one of my like the first person I could think of who's an incredible performer, really like challenges the art form, very intelligent, you know, like just amazing concepts of acts. And her performance at BHOF, I think it was 2013. I want to say it's 2013. Yeah. Um, her piece, so she had this like, how to describe it? Like a big hoop dress. And it was very, very simple. And it felt very like contemporary. It wasn't like a classic piece. And that's what really like inspired me. And I'm like, you don't have to do classic. Like you don't have to do the traditional way. You can, make it different. And honestly, that moment, I was like, this could be for me, this art form. So Imogen Kelly for sure. She's incredible, a legend. Another person at the start of like before I started getting to burlesque, and I knew this person through contemporary dance in New Zealand. The name's Hannah Tasker Poland. And they're an incredible contemporary dancer, like performance artist and burlesque performer, and they really, really challenge the burlesque art form. And they really inspired me because they were also a contemporary dancer, and I was like, they're doing it and they're making it their own. So for sure, seeing them and doing it, I was like just wow. And they're amazing. Another person, I'm just think of another person that there's so many. There's so many. I feel like I wrote down a list, but I'm probably missing people. But
I feel like
honestly,
there's like
yeah,
you, there's someone different every other week. Like I'll go
yeah,
online and I see something and I'm like, oh my God. And then I see something and I'm like, oh my God, you and you and you.
yeah.
Like
Everyone has like something special about them, and you go like, that is really cool and amazing. And I never thought of it that way or whatever. And I like even new performers. Like sometimes new performers, I'm like, that's like, I wish I had that idea. Do you know what I
Yes.
mean? And I think also too myself, I'm heavily inspired by things outside of burlesque as well, and I probably that's because I like to mix art forms, but yeah, I think it's good too to be inspired outside of burlesque, and so you're coming in with fresh ideas as well. Because it can, get into trap of like accidentally kind of recreating something you've seen before, which usually it's not intentional at all, but you want to make sure you're always making it original or putting a spin on something. And I think sometimes when you are inspired a lot by burlesque, you can start to accidentally create what you see in a way, if you know what I mean. So I always definitely encourage people that I mentor is to find inspiration outside. Um, so you have like more of a holistic view rather than like a really narrow view of what to create.
I always find, I don't know about you, I always find going to festivals, I come away feeling so inspired because
Oh,
you
yeah,
always see such a
yes,
range of
yes,
different styles of acts, different ideas, and my brain just like, mm.
yeah. I I'm obsessed with festivals generally. Like if I could just do festivals, I would be so happy. Like
Same.
fest they're just the best. Like yeah, I think also it depends on the festival probably too, but I feel like I go to festivals that are always bringing, new work in and they're always looking for something different and innovative. And yeah, festivals are honestly one of the best places to see new things and to be inspired. I love love festivals for that reason. And also just meeting people in the community aspect and networking. It's just the coolest. It's like go to camp. That's what I think of it as. It's kind of like a little camp, you know, with people around the world. It's great.
So that I was at one I highly recommend is the Kootenai Burlesque Festival in
Mm.
Canada. It was
Oh,
like
cool.
summer camp. It was like being on a summer camp with a bunch of my friends from all over the place. It was so
So
good.
cool. Whereabouts is Kootenai? I don't know where that is.
It's Nelson, British Columbia.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So it's like I think it's like an hour's flight from Vancouver.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um,
So it's
I
like
don't know if
West
you know
Side.
the yeah. So I don't know if you know
Hmm.
the legend Judith Stein. That's where she lives.
Yes, I even seen them before at the Highway to Hell. They were
Hmm.
there. Were they?
Yes, they
I'm
came up to
remembering that
Glasgow.
correctly, right?
Yes, they came
Yeah.
up to Glasgow like the weekend after and performed up here for us,
Wow,
which
they're
was really cool.
so like present on like their stage presence is so what's the word?
I couldn't look
Very
away.
like yeah, it's like
Yeah.
magnetic.
Mm.
That's a good word. So yeah, when I watched them, they still like really you could see it, like their performance and
Yeah,
it's just it was amazing.
they're
It was really
amazing.
cool. It was
I'm
really
obsessed
cool.
with Judith.
Yeah. It's cool to see legends perform, it's I wish we could go back in time, like get a time traveling device and just like see the performers from, the different eras. It'd be so cool.
That'd be
Um,
amazing. Getting to
yeah,
see them on Legends Night is amazing though. Like that's special, I think.
yeah. It was really cool. Yeah, I wish I could, again, I wish I could have stayed for the whole night because I feel like after the party, the Legends Night is always a wild time. There's so many stories.
Unhinged.
Yeah,
Unhinged.
unhinged is a good word. Yeah.
So obviously BHOF is a career highlight for you,
Hmm.
right? But what other maybe more personal career highlights have you had?
Personal,
Or just in general career highlights?
in general, this is always like a hard one to answer. My mind always goes blank. It's like, what are your career highlights? I'm like, um, I honestly, it's because like every show to me is really special. Like every show has something that's been really memorable, and I always feel really privileged to perform like every show, and I get to perform it. I go, this is such an amazing, and it's an honor to be able to be on the stage showing my work. I think certain shows, like I think festivals for sure, like Stockholm Blast Festival, performed there a couple of times now, and that's always been felt like such an honor, especially because I've performed works that are like my contemporary pieces.
Yeah.
And so whoever wants to book my contemporary pieces, I love them. And I'm always like, woo. Because they're really different. And, not many people do want to book them because I think a lot of producers feel like it's a risk to book something that's different. And so it means a lot whenever I do get to perform anything that's like my contemporary pieces or conceptual. So Stockholm Burlesque Festival definitely like one of my favorites for that. They really, really appreciate my work and support me. Strasbourg Burlesque Festival is another. I've performed there like 3 times now because I love them. They really love my stuff. What other things like headlining festivals? Like I headlined Ferrara Burlesque Festival a few years ago. Um, Camos Cabaret, I guessed it then. That was amazing. That was in Finland. And then like another show in Finland actually, the Burlesque Expose in Tampere was incredible. It was a live band. You might have seen on my Instagram. I've got
Yeah,
some
yeah,
really
I
good
have.
videos from that show. That was honestly a career highlight. Like performing live band at any point is amazing. I performed with like Cabaret Against the Machine a couple of times, and that's amazing. So yeah, anything in a live band, love, career highlight, always. So if anybody wants to cast me in a live band, I'm your gal. I also play,
Here,
yeah,
hi.
I'm here, by the way, producers. It's because I also play music. I play piano and clarinet, so
Wow.
music's, I played it since I was about 4 or 5. I had like a baby clarinet, like half-size clarinet, because I was too small to have large clarinets, a little
That's so
tiny one.
cute. So
Um,
cute.
so music is a big part of my life, and also like tap dancing. So that's to me, that's music as well. So anything with music, it's career highlight. Performing, I auditioned for Diamonds and Dust early this year. I was selected to audition for the burlesque role, um, which was incredible. Like I didn't think I was gonna get selected. I was like, oh my God. And so I got to perform in front of Dita Von Teese, and like other people that were there. But yeah, I did not expect it, like for that to be on my bingo card this year. So actually like quite a lot of things have happened. Now I'm like reflecting. So that was really cool. Very nerve-wracking because it was not like a stage performance and like lights and a vibe. It was like an audition. So it was a dance studio and like a panel of like 10 or so people just like running notes, looking at you deadpan.
Did you go back to like dance competition?
Yeah, yeah. But it was
With
like an
that?
audition. So I've done so many auditions in my lifetime. I was like, okay, audition time. And like you're like doing all these things and taking your clothes off, and everyone is silent. And it's like not a vibe. No, it's like as it was really cool to do it, but at the same time, it was like, okay, this is not great. But it's just because it's an audition, so they're not allowed to probably react or anything. Do you know what I mean? So, but it was still really cool. I got to perform one of my
That's
acts in front of
cool.
her. That not many people get the chance to do that. So
Mhm.
I wanted to like bring my best, and I was like, please remember me for other shows, for the tour. She does world tours.
Yeah.
I was like,
Are you like,
baby,
huh?
yeah, that'd be so cool. So yeah, that was definitely a career highlight. Producing my annual student showcases are always a highlight of my year. They're a really huge production. I only do one a year because I want to make sure I spend like a lot of my energy on it. But that's yeah, it's at a big theater, big audience, lots of acts, like 3 groups and maybe like 10 solos. It's a quite a big production. So that's always a career highlight for me and a life highlight because just seeing them all be so happy and having like a great time means the world to me. And I'm like, this is why I do it. Like this is why I teach, is to watch people live their best lives, really. So it's always really, really special and it means a lot to me. And yeah, I think just teaching workshops around the world, honestly, every time, it's just so cool to be like, there's these people around the world that want to learn from me. Like it's like it's always a really bizarre feeling, and I've done it a lot, and I still go like, wow, like thank you all for coming and just being interested. It blows my mind that people want to learn from me, honestly. And I know that sounds weird because I've taught for so long, but I just see myself as like little old me, I'm just just Aurora. But
Honestly, I'm
like,
like, I'm just the Scottish girl and it. Like, I'm just like, hi, like,
yeah, yeah, yeah. And like, I'm from a really small town in Australia, so I think I see myself as like a small town girl still, like just you know, that's who I am. But
you're an
yeah, so
international superstar.
I know with BHOF. Ooh. But yeah, I think it's always career highlights. And it's actually I was just thinking about an event that happened this year. Another big thing happened this year. I got booked for like a luxury private event in the Seychelles, of all places. Yeah, I know. I couldn't post about it either because it had to be like hush hush, which is so annoying because you want to be like, look at me. So that was like definitely a career highlight. It was one of those moments in my life I was like, I could do this like every week. I could come to the Seychelles and
Look at
like,
this.
yeah, like just live my best life. And they like put me up in like a 5-star resort while I was staying there. It was only for like, it was like one show, but I got to stay there for like 2 nights because of like the flights, because it takes like a long time, like 17 hours, I think, to get from England to the Seychelles. You have to go to Dubai. It's quite far away. Um, and so that was like definitely a career highlight. I was like on the beach and I was like, this is great. I could I could do this again. So
It's
that
like
was
being
really
mentioned.
cool. And I think that what the craziest thing about that was I got the call the day before I flew. They were like, "Do you want to go to Seychelles? It's tomorrow. Your flight's at like 1 p.m." And I was like, okay." So dropped everything. Um, Flew to the Seychelles the next day. Yeah,
That's
it was one of those
amazing.
wild moments in my life. I felt like I was living the dream, I was living like the high
You
life.
this year has definitely been your
Yeah.
year from what you're
It
saying.
Yeah, it's been a lot. There's been a lot. I think that's why it's been kind of nice to like have a little bit of a quieter, end of the year. Like I've had a little bit more of a quieter December, and I've actually been like, you know what, this is good. I need to balance out, rest
Yes,
before 2026 comes along, and I've already got so much planned for 2026. It's,
already.
yeah,
That's
big goals.
already. Yeah.
Yeah.
So thinking about the fact that you've just achieved all of these amazing things, do you have any like goals for yourself still for the future? Because you said earlier like you're an ambitious person.
Yes.
So,
Always
like,
goals.
oh yes, tell me what are some of your like career
Always
goals then?
I have I have like endless goals, by the way. Like I'm always dreaming bigger, and I feel like I'll never achieve like true happiness because I'll always be wanting more. Do you know what I mean?
Climbing up
Like,
that ladder.
yeah, like never enough, never enough. I've always been that kind of person, but yeah, my goals for next year. So yeah, touring Australia. That's been one of my big goals for a while. Like that's where I'm from. I really miss Australia. Very homesick. And I've never toured properly around Australia. So I was like, I really want to do that while I can. So yeah, that's one of my big goals. Another big goal, I actually really want to tour Canada as well next year. I know, it's like, let's do it. My partner's Canadian, so I mean, we've been together for like 10 years actually. Like this week, we've been together 10 years, which is amazing.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. It's passed by so quickly. So we want to go to Canada to see family and stuff. And I was like, I would love to make a tour out of it. So that's one of my plans, maybe in October, go to Canada for a month, or however long I'm able to. What are the big goals? I really want to start producing shows. It's been a goal of mine for a long, long time. So yeah, me and Velma actually want to start co-producing, because we're a great team. So like, let's go for it. And I also want to apply for Arts Council funding for like projects. That's another big goal that I've been wanting to do for years and years, and I kept kind of like putting it off because it's a very time consuming, like applying for Arts Council funding, and a lot of energy needs to go into it. So I was like, I need to just do it. I need to focus on it, put it as a priority. So that's another goal of mine, is trying to get some Arts Council funding and create art, basically. So, and like more acts with it, but just, that as well. So lots of goals. They're my big ones. But there's tons of goals, like finish my costumes. finish embellishing.
We're them.
There's,
That didn't count.
there's it. I'm debuting act actually. This this one. This is first view. No one's ever seen this. So that's like a little bit. That's a skirt of it. So this is the new act that's been in the works since literally 2020. It's been in the works for a long time. And that's because
Material of that.
my mom made parts of the costume. So she took her time, but it's finally here. I love my mom. She's amazing. So it just took a little bit, but yeah. So I'm planning to debut that this year. So that's what I need to get done this Christmas period. Is to focus on doing that. So just things like that. But yeah, there's always more.
With some. I
Yeah,
really love see like the color like that type of material of that purple that you've got that.
I'll bring it out. I'll bring it out. Oh, let me see if you see it.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, I
So
love.
it's a two-tone silk taffeta.
Mhm.
Um, very expensive. Too
Yeah,
expensive for fabric.
I've looked at that stuff before. That's why I'm like, I love it. It's beautiful, but like I'm aware.
Yeah, I don't recommend. And it was the last of its roll. There was only 3 meters left, and this is why it took so long to make it because we had to be really strategic about how to get use of all this fabric. 3 meters is not a lot for like a garment. We wanted to make a big skirt, corset, bra and stuff, but the skirt is what takes up a lot of fabric, and so we had to be really savvy about it. And I'm pretty sure this fabric is the same fabric as Dita Von Teese's wedding dress. Um, like I'm
Where's
like
that big
almost I'm like
purple?
99% sure. If you look at a photo,
Yeah.
there's lots of photos. I'm pretty sure it's the same fabric because it's a two-tone silk taffeta. It's blue and red threads, and it has the same sheen and everything as. So I think it is.
Oh,
I have a feeling.
that's kind of cool.
I know. It's very cool. Very cool. The end of the roll, it came from a shop in London, Joel and Sons, which specializes in like couture fabrics. So it's an amazing shop. Recommend. Very expensive. So make sure you go in with lots of money, or you will be disappointed. So,
Some
yeah.
money and on a strict budget. This is what I can spend.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. The reason why I say like I don't recommend buying expensive fabrics is because with burlesque, like things get ruined on stage very easily. Stages are usually quite dirty, or people spill drinks, or whatever, makeup, or gets torn. So I bought this a few years ago, and this is like I'm wiser and more mature now, and I would like definitely choose a less
Not have done
expensive.
that.
Yeah, but I fell in love with the fabric, and I couldn't look at anything else. Like I need it. I have to have this fabric. It was like £60 a meter.
I'm gonna be stalking your Instagram for this appearing in the new year. I'm just gonna be like this.
Yes. I'll try and post some stuff. I can be really bad with social media, so I'll try and post some little like in progress things and tease the costume because I want to get it out there. So I'm gonna have to be like, look at me, book it. So I'll start posting some things. Yeah.
Amazing. This has been delightful. Where can all our lovely listeners and watchers follow you so they can see all these lovely things that you're
Yeah.
doing?
So Instagram's probably the best place to follow me. My account name is Aurora Nova underscore burlesque. I also do have Facebook, but I rarely use it. I think the last post was made in like 2023 or something. I need to get back on. I just like Facebook. It's like there's too many social media accounts, and I can only do one. I need to get TikTok as well. Everyone's like, get TikTok. I've never had TikTok. I'm
I
just
have it, but I just doom scroll. I don't really post.
yeah, I do that with Instagram anyway. So yeah, Instagram's where you can find me. Check out all my stuff. Send me a message, whatever you want. My inbox is always open. I love questions. I like to think I'm very approachable. So just, if anyone's got any questions, let me know. But yeah, it's been an honor to be part of this I would say YouTube interview. Is it YouTube?
Yeah, it's future.
YouTube? Yeah. But yeah, honestly, thank you so much for having me. It's been so fun. I've loved chatting to you. I get quite nervous with these kind of things. So yeah, it was really, really fun. I loved it.
Good. I'm so glad. Thank you so much for joining me. I will let you go off and enjoy the rest of your evening, my lovely. Bye
Thank
bye.
you.